I decided to make a video on yoga. Let me tell you that I practice yoga not as a serious practitioner or master, but I do it for years. Whenever I have time, I do yoga. So that became a part of my life, and it helped me discipline um, the body that I have not that good, but still in a good shape, and the mind still. My mind is also in good shape. Briefly, I would be talking about what yoga is. Now, you might have seen a lot of videos, you read a lot of books, but they will all talk about various things, including the Sanskritic origin and all that. So let me give you a proper definition that I found in one of the book that was a primer on yoga by Dr. Ramesh Bislani. And then another book is there on yoga. I read a few books on yoga. That book is by Georg Forstein. He talks about the lost teaching of yoga is the title of the book. Both books somehow comes to the point that yoga is the art of and science. So yoga is the art and science of disciplining the body and the mind. Very simple. So yoga is the art, it is the science. Art because it requires the dedication of a painter, an artist, a musician. It also requires discipline. That is there. A lot of discipline is there in any of the artists, and it is science because it's predictable. Its effects are predictable of disciplining the body and mind. This is what is given by Georg Forstein. The same definition is being given by Ramesh Bislani, but he takes us to the next level, and that next level is that it is not only just disciplining the body and mind, because this can be done. Disciplining can be done by any of the technique. We have a lot of things available with us, but disciplining in order to achieve something higher that is certainly the realm of spirituality. So without spirituality, what he says that we have right tools. I have a good body, you have a good body, that is a tool. He says you have a good mind, it means healthy mind, that is a tool. But if you don't know what these tools are to be for, what you have to do with these tools, what is the purpose of these tools, if you are not able to use these tools properly, then sorry, this is not yoga, this is just an exercise. This is merely exercise in the gym. So we should know and know how to achieve the higher things like concentration and our complete surrender to the divine. If if that is our ultimate goal, then only this is yoga. But let's be clear here. For us, first thing first, it is the art of disciplining the body and mind. And when I say discipline in itself includes, the focus is more on the means than the ends, but certainly if you have disciplined tools, certainly these tools are not going to go and kill someone. Right. Okay. So we have various yoga gurus. The contemporary yoga guru, late Sri B.K.S. Iyengar, the master himself. And then we have Baba Ramdev in USA, very famous gentleman, even though in controversy because of his lot of affairs. Bikram Chaudhary, the hot yoga fame. These are the people in terms of yoga. Yoga as we identify today in contemporary setting is the Hatha Yoga. What we talk about is the Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is nothing but it's asana and pranayama. Asanas and pranayam. Asanas are the body posture that we have. Pranayam is related to breathing tactics. Right? Those are pranayams. These are what we know as Hatha Yoga. But specifically, you would have heard of Raja Yoga. See, various types of yoga schools are there. One is Hatha Yoga, another one is Raja Yoga. That Raja Yoga is also known as the classical school. Patanjali Yoga is Raja Yoga. Uh, this is also known as Astanga Yoga, because there are 8 limbs Patanjali had talked about in his seminal work, the Yoga Sutras. And then apart from this, there are yogas related to, you might have heard of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is there, that is related to complete devotion, chanting and all that. Then chanting may be there, may not be there, but devotion is there. Then the yoga of action, Karma Yoga. The yoga that Gita talks about is the Karma Yoga. Karma Yogi, do your action, forget everything else. That's Krishna. Then we have Tantra Yoga. Tantra Yoga. Tantra is to liberate. It's a ritualistic yoga. So let me focus in this video on Raj Yoga, Astanga Yoga, because that is the yoga of the mind. Yoga of the mind. Whereas the previous one that I talked about, the Hatha Yoga is the yoga of the body. There are 8 limbs which are being talked about in Raja Yoga. And these 8 limbs are, it talks about, there are 8. I exactly remember these 8. And these are good to know, because these 8 limbs are in itself a proper guideline, set of guidelines to ensure that we may lead a life that is based on high morals. So first thing it talks about is the yam, and second limb is niyam. Yam and niyam. Yam means restraint in English. Restraining from something is yam. So first limb is yam. Yoga starts with restraining from something. So it talks about that you have to restrain yourself not to do. And what are these not to do? Not to kill. That is ahimsa. Not to lie. That is to follow satya. So satya, ahimsa, Gandhiji. Yam, Gandhiji. Satya, ahimsa. Remember? Apart from satya and ahimsa, it talks about aparigraha. Not to hoard. Not to hoard means like we have this willingness to have a lot of possessions with us. So satya, ahimsa, aparigraha. Not to steal. Not to steal is there. Whatever you call that, you call that. These are the things one must not do. And there are a few more things he talks about. The niyam, what has to be done. The second limb of Patanjali Yoga is the niyam, what has to be done. And when you talk about what has to be done, it talks about that what we can do is, it talks about santosh, contentment. Santosh is first, what has to be done. If we are not content, we are not doing yoga. We are not following the second limb of the Patanjali Yoga. It talks about the Swadhyay. Swadhyay is to learn by self-study. Swadhyay, it talks about the Swadhyay. It talks about tapas, the second limb, that is what to do to lead a moral good life. So it talks about the tapas. Tapas is again the area that wants us to lead a austere life. Austerity in itself is not a virtue. Austerity is to give up something, to have the higher goal in the mind, to achieve something higher goal. It talks about the santosh. It talks about the. It talks about the. Let us I just mentioned tapas. It talks about complete surrender to the god. The niyam, yam and niyam. So there are few yams, few niyams. What else? That's enough. Now the third limb of the Patanjali's yoga. Third and fourth limb are related to our Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga, I talked about asanas and pranayams. So third limb is asanas, so discipline the body, and then pranayam is about disciplining the mind. So these are first four limbs, and these are visibly manifested, and these are part of our daily life. Then fifth limb is about withdrawal from our sensory experience that we have. The sensory pleasure and kind of things that we get, we have to withdraw from it. Fifth limb talks about the switching off our mind from the world. Switching off the mind from the world. So kind of sensory experience that we have from the outside world, try to withdraw it. That is the fifth limb. So this has to be done, not step by step. See, it is very clearly mentioned by the Patanjali that these are not steps. It's not that you can do second limb only after completing the first part. No, these are limbs. These can be done simultaneously. Certainly, you will reach the samadhi in the end, that is the eighth limb. But these are limbs, not the steps, not the stages. You have to keep that in mind. Fifth is withdrawing from the sensory organs. I exactly don't remember the name, the Sanskritic name for it. The sixth, seventh, and eighth. These are concentration, contemplation, and ultimately samadhi. Samadhi is the state of super consciousness. Samadhi is the state of what we can say the highest ecstatic stage. Samadhi is the stage of, let's say, permanently remaining in what they call the godly hallucination. Godly hallucination, I say, not the drug hallucination where you reach some other world and something of that sort. These last three has to be focused on. One is the concentration, second is the contemplation, ultimately samadhi. Concentration is looking at an object. Concentration is focus on the object. Whereas contemplation is thinking about that object. That is the difference. So when we focus on particular object, certainly after certain point in time, we will start thinking about that object, and that is the contemplation. That Patanjali talks about contemplation as the seventh limb. And then Patanjali says that in this contemplation also, you see, there seems to be some incoherence between the sixth limb. That sixth limb is about withdrawing of this world, sensory experience. Then focusing that energy, that sensory experience and whatever energy that we have, focusing that energy towards one particular object. So when you think of a guru or your girlfriend, then you just think about her. That is first it is the concentration, and then it is contemplation. Contemplation is the stream of thoughts, continuous stream of thoughts about a single thing, object or anything. And then samadhi. Samadhi, in our words, in my words, as if I've experienced it, I'm talking as an expert, but still, you see, I somewhere read it, so I'm telling it to you. Samadhi is when you are not able to identify the difference between the object and the subject. If I concentrate on particular, let's say this camera, and at one point in time I'm not able to identify the difference between this camera and myself, that is this state of samadhi. I'm not saying sleeping, no. It's being conscious and at the same time feeling that I'm not different from anything else. It is the stage of achieving the divine. Becoming one with all and becoming all with one. That is called samadhi. That is called samadhi. Yoga is very powerful, but it requires a lot of effort, a lot of dedication. But we don't have to do that. If you wish to do that, just go to Himalayas, do it. But we all are in the addiction of something. We all have the addiction of life, right? We all have the addiction of life. So yoga is a wonderful, wonderful thing that can give us break. That can give us break from our daily addiction, that is life. You know, first thing in the morning you do is go have tea, coffee, whatever it is. You just go on the treadmill, go for the gym, you go to the work, come back, you start watching some serials. This is addiction. Take a break from this addiction, and this can be given by yoga. So do it. Start doing the yoga. These are 8 limbs. These are 8 limbs of Patanjali. It was more an educational video rather than telling you what yogas you should do and what yoga you shouldn't do. That you can go on and watch it on the YouTube. One thing. Now, many of the experts and gurus and masters, they will claim to teach you yoga that will help you cure any particular disease. But let me be frank that there was a study done by the AIMS doctors, and that suggested that there is no connection between particular disease and particular yoga. Yoga is for overall well-being. Yoga is not a system of curing the disease. You have to take the medicine. Yes, overall, any yoga, you should avoid the yogas which can aggravate the problem that is there with you, but certainly completely relying on particular yoga for curing of any disease would be highest level of foolishness. Okay? So, yoga should be there for general well-being. Yoga should be there to avoid any disease to the mind and to the body. That's all for this lecture. Thank you so much. God bless you.